What is up, my G.I. Joe family? Welcome back to George Reviews. I am the 80s Transformers fan, and as promised, I'm continuing to take a look at vehicles on my channel this week. Got a lot of things to get unpackaged and get onto my shelf. Here is the G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra Ferret Scout and Cobra Ferret ATV. They have a nice little window right here where we can see the actual Scout. It is a female driver. You can see her accessories and everything. The side of the packaging shows a little bit of artwork and showed us that the ATV and the driver are numbered at 119 in the series. The back of the box, we can see the driver. She stands 5'9" tall. Shows the display of her weapons and a few of the features of the ATV itself. The side panel, we have some color artwork. Looks very nice of the driver. So let's get this package open so we can have a better look. All right, where do we want to open it at? We have an instruction booklet. There's a little bit of assembly required. Shouldn't be no problem at all. The tires go a specific way. We don't want to mess that up. And the back shows us how to put on the helmet. Excellent. Let's free our driver. She doesn't appear to have any tie downs. I think this is my first open female G.I. Joe Classified figure. I'm going to have to do something about that. One helmet, two identical pistols, and one unpainted knife. It sucks. Back here is a foot lock. I wasn't expecting this. What's in here? I have no clue what this stuff is. Oh, parts to go in the vehicle. All right, let's get the vehicle out first. ATV, it's got a nice little weight to it. It's gonna be some hollowed out crap, but it's solid. All right, now what genius tied it down like this? I mean, they wanted to make sure these tires didn't go anywhere. 4 identical tires. I don't think we need to film me taking out each individual one. All right, and now for the parts to the ATV. What do we got in here? Long cannon falling out of cardboard packaging. I believe these are some guns. Winch, a couple missiles, and a roll cage, ramming bar, whatever that is, handlebars, and whatever these things are. We'll figure them out. Alright, and that concludes the unboxing portion of the video. Alright, let's get started. Gonna get this, what's this, ramming bar to the front winch and bumper of the ATV. It goes in through here, and I believe it threads through these holes right here. Don't snap in. I'm kind of worried about that. So that's done. The next part are the missile holders or whatever these things are. I believe they only go one way. Now for the missiles. So with these things being double-headed, I guess they fire from front to back depending on which button you push. And the steering wheel. And for this cannon thing, that's a tight fit. I believe it just sits on here. Now for the tires, and normally I don't do instructions, but I accidentally saw it, and the tires are meant to go a specific way, I guess with the treads pointing forward on both sides. Go on with a snap, and I believe they don't come off without force once they're on here. Never did the missiles last. So yeah, and there we go. It's sweet because the treads make that motor sound when you roll it. That is very cool. The inner kid in me is loving that. All right, let's take a better look at the vehicle. Let's get up close and personal. We can see some silver paint for the engine, which is nice. It's not raised a lot, but it is molded and raised from the rest of the plastic. And it is on both sides. And right next to that, we get Cobra XP1000. Right here, oh, this is so cool. Nice attention to detail. We get missile launch information right there. We got a little bit of texturing on the seat. That could be done a little bit better, but it's still nice. Right here we got secure covered. Does this little thing come off at all? I don't know. No step right here. Appears on both sides of the vehicle. And right underneath that, I just saw caution exhaust. Right there, the tires have PNR 23 Cobra ATV on all tires. Is identical. And right here we get a nice little Cobra logo, and we get Semper Fidelis and Serpens ATV. We saw Semper Fidelis on, I believe, on the Cobra His tank. And the front of the vehicle, since we are here, you get there's a molded in winch and hook. Got some painted on lights that's just painted silver. And up here we get a headlight. Of course, the guns. We gotta have the guns for the Cobra vehicle. A little bit molded in detail. It moves all around, up and down. Then over here we get the large cannon, and when you saw me put it together, it can go up this far, down this far, and it can be detached, and the driver can hold it and shoot with it. Does it go left and right? Oh yeah, and it swivels, and you can fire reverse. Back of the vehicle, we get some painted on tail lights, which is very nice, molded in shocks. I believe these things operate and spring up and down. So let's check that out. And yes, it certainly does. Now for the driver. This is my first female open figure. I have a few. I have the Cobra Valkyries and everything. I never opened them. Gonna have to get around to that. We got the Sub-Zero mask. Well painted eyes. Her eyes look like they are green. Some brunette eyebrows going on. Little outfit. She has the body armor in case she crashes her vehicle. That looks good. I don't think it's removable. If you wanted to cut it off, it'd definitely come off. There's a body underneath there. I can tell. See it? Can you see it? I can see it. Nice painted on Cobra logo on top of some white paint on the black plastic. She has a belt down here with some pouches on it. Holster, some gun clips molded in. Another holster right here on her hip. Some fair amount of molded in detailing on her. Let's check out her articulation. She can look up this far, down, a little bit of side to side, 360. Shoulders, I think that's the maximum, and it's not being hindered. I think this is just as high as they come up. I want to break it. This is as far as I can get them up. 360 at that shoulder, 360 at the bicep swivel, double hinged elbow, wrist swivel. And does she have an up and down hinge? It looks like at least a down hinge. And she's sporting 2 trigger fingers on her hands. Check out that midsection. She can rear back, not a lot. That's not a lot at all. And forward, not a lot. Not a lot of size. So I don't know if it's the armor doing it or the lack of articulation in there, but that's all I get. And as far as like the waist, combining that with the waist, she can bend over this far. And she can rear back this far. I guess that in combination that is a lot. And it will 360 at the waist. Excellent split. Front to back, excellent. Her hips drop down ever so slightly. Nicely hidden upper thigh swivel. Double jointed knee. We have a boot cut. Ankle articulation. So all the standard articulation you expect from a G.I. Joe Classified Series figure. She's only lacking at the torso right here. Alright, the first of our 4 accessories are these 2 identical pistols done in all black. They have a port. They can take a silencer that you got with maybe one of your other figures. No removable clip that I can see. Let's get them in her hands. They fit into her hands easily and securely. Fingers are on the trigger, ready to blast Joe's. We can holster these guns. Ha, this pouch is reversed. Guess she's drawing from the right side no matter what. She's dominantly right-handed. Next up is her knife. Is very, very lackluster. It's bent out of the packaging. No worries, I probably can bend it back. Not a lot of detail in it. Guess it gets the job done. If she's in trouble and needs to stab a Joe, let's get that in her hand. See how well she holds that. And it fits in her hand nice and snug. It's not going to fall out. Bam. Let's get that holster down here on her boot. All the way. Her final accessory is the Rallycross helmet. It is very nicely done. Has a lot of detailing on it. It is fantastic. The only thing missing is the lens or the shield or a set of goggles for her. It is all black plastic with some blue and some white. A flat matte white finish that's used on her chest and a few other places on her body. Let's get it on her head. It's kind of soft. It's going to fit with no problem. And here we go, and it looks fantastic. Now let's get her on to the ATV and go for a spin. I got her on the vehicle, but I could not set her upon her ass. It's just in the air, and that's how I like it. Yeah, like her arms, where the handlebars at, I don't know if I gotta push it down more. Her thighs are prevented. I don't know. Yeah, I can't get her down on her butt. But, I mean, she's on there securely. She's holding on by her hands. There are no foot pegs on this vehicle, even though she has a port for a stand or something, but they didn't put anything down here. Despite all that, she's on there securely, so we're going to get her to roll. We're going to kick in the music. I don't know about you guys, but this is the reason why I bought the vehicle, to get the Crimson Twins onto our Python cycle now from the cartoon. And again, even with a male driver, he sits kind of weird. He's close to the handlebars, knees up high. Not really. I guess he's down on the seat a little bit better, but it still looks weird. It seems like the handlebars could be up a little bit higher, or they could sit a little bit lower. But it holds two guys with no problem. And as for her, she can wield this laser cannon, machine gun, 50 cal, whatever this thing is, and hold it in both hands securely without it falling out. It's time to give the Cobra Ferret Scout the size up and a rundown. Obviously, kicking it off with the Crimson Twins, one Crimson Guard, one Cobra Soldier, and Storm Shadow and Cobra Commander, all from G.I. Joe Classified series. Now to give the vehicle the size up and a rundown. From Master Universe Classics, here's Prince Adam on Sky Sled. From that same toy line, here's Fisto on Stridor. Cruising through from Marvel Legends is Johnny Blaze, Ghost Rider. Now for some Joes, here's Breaker on the Ram Cycle. Serpentor on Air Chariot. Man, that thing is massive. And for our last comparison, the HasLab Cobra His Tank. Alright, my G.I. Joe family, for my final thoughts on the Cobra Ferret Scout and ATV. It is awesome. The only way it could have been better, and this is just me adding stuff to it, is if it had lights and maybe sound. But I guess the wheels make sound when it rolls. And also if the steering wheel could turn the front tires, that would have been cool. But this thing is awesome. It is a very faithful recreation to the vintage toy, nicely updated into the G.I. Joe Classified line. They do a great job of bringing old things to the modern era and still capturing that vintage type feel while adding new and better elements to the toy. As far as the figure, our Cobra Scout, she is awesome. My first open female. I love like the little padding armor on her knees and her forearms. That's very cool. Nice little pouches on her. Nice deco everywhere. If I had a wish list for her, I wish we could have had a unmasked head, like with her hair down, to see what she actually looked like under the mask. But I guess she's supposed to be a generic trooper, so it doesn't matter. And speaking of generic trooper, I got this thing back in the springtime, early summer might have been, when Hasbro Post were doing their outlet pricing. I got this, I got a Trouble Bubble, I got the Valkyries, I got a few things. I wish I had bought another one because this thing is so awesome, but a lot of times I don't have the money to just build out an army. I try to get a taste of something and move on to the next, and just know that I have one specific thing in my collection and maybe go back and get it later. But I haven't seen it on sale since. And if you don't have it and you get a chance to grab it, I highly recommend it. It is fun, well built, and a must-have for any G.I. Joe Classified collector. And with that, that's all I got. I want to thank you all for joining me for another episode of George Reviews. The reviews of every toy has a story.